quick break. I just want to say thank you for all the people around the world: Jamaica, Germany, Asia, Europe, South America. Thank you for listening to Leap of Hell. Thank you for the support. And remember, my book is out. You can find it on Barnes and Nobles and Amazon. It's called Parents Are Greatest Teachers. Thank you again for all the support. And now back to our episode. Everyone, this is your host, Alice Bellgood, and this is Leap of Health. And today I'm super excited to have Edwin Rivera with us. This is going to be the part of our 10-part series, Healing Through Cultivating Art. And I am very, very excited to have you. Edwin, he's a producer, he's a choreographer, he's a creator, a dancer, artist in the whole, world. So I just love it. And he has traveled the world too, dancing and promoting art and music and everything. So I am super excited to have you. But before we go and dive into the healing through cultivating art, tell us a little bit about yourself and how do you become all this superstar now?
Yeah. Well, I was just a kid from the Bronx, a kid from the Bronx with a dream of inspiring the world through the talent that God gave me. I learned how to dance by a man named David Melendez. My dance teacher, may he rest in peace, founder of the New York International Salsa Congress. And I just wanted to take his teachings with my talent and be able to inspire the world the way he inspired me. And I met a man by the name of Albert Torres in Los Angeles who believed in me, took me out the Bronx, showed me the world, and here I am today.
Yeah, that's just amazing. And I love, you touch on the point. You found some mentors and they brought you out. And, it was kind of like finding the diamond in the rocks. And here you are. And I think it's just so important to find those people to show younger minds, younger hearts, the importance of art. How do you think has art changed you in your life?
I come from a family that uh, music and dance was secondary, right? It was part of our culture. But that you can make a career of what what makes you the happiest, that wasn't something that my family would have never thought of. So I'm the first artist in my family and my whole family in Puerto Rico, right? All my family are workers. I had a cousin who played professionally basketball, but in terms of like an artist, I'm the first one. And it definitely broke me away from. It took me away from this, I guess, this matrix. You have to go to school, which is not a bad thing, right? I went to school, I finished college, all that stuff. But like, you get a job and you work for somebody and you get married, have a family, and repeat. And art totally changed that for me. Before art, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a good construction job like my dad, and I'm gonna find a good wife and have two great kids, and just kind of repeat what my dad did. But when art came in my life, dance came in my life, uh, I still don't believe the things that I've done in my life from the Bronx. Right, I've traveled to every continent in the world, literally every continent. I've been to Antarctica through my art. So art just totally took me to places that I would have never dreamed of. And that's why it's so important that everybody should get a taste of art. Everybody should, right? Everybody should taste this because for me, it gave me freedom. It gave me freedom. It gave me the ability to go, you know what? I know this is what my family wants for me. I know my father, my mom, they want me to go this route, but I'm going to go this route. And obviously, yes, my parents supported it unconditionally, but no one in my family approved of what I wanted to do. And I was again, be this great choreographer. Now I'm a DJ and a music producer. And so, uh, and I just keep reaching for the stars. I just keep, it never ends, right? You never stop learning. And I think that, uh, again, everybody should experience that. People sometimes are afraid of it. Like, no, that's not for me. No, I can never make a living off of that. There's already self-doubt that happens because no one is teaching you that you can be great with art, right? No one teaches that, right? They'll give you the seeds, but it's up to you to become great. And it's up to you, like, even though I had these mentors, they didn't think that I was going to be this person that I am today, right? They just said, we're going to help this guy out, and whatever happens, happens. And
Yeah.
I took that knowledge and I said, thank you for giving me the knowledge. Now I'm going to take it to the next level. And I think everybody should believe in themselves enough to do that. To say, you know what? If I want to be a painter, if I want to write music, if I want to choreograph weddings, whatever it is, man. If I want to make music, if I want to whatever. I think everybody should give it a shot. I think everybody should because it just totally takes you to a whole different path. Or it might not. You might just play it safe and say, you know what? I like my job. I like, my 9 to 5, and with nothing wrong with that. And I like to, so yeah. So I'm like rambling, but yeah, art just saved my life. And if it wasn't for art, my last name, Rivera, wouldn't be where it's at today. Art took my last name to a whole other level. And now I hope that my daughter, her kids, they continue to do that.
Yeah. I think definitely art is is just something. I had a friend and she was a guest a couple of months ago, and she said something super cool that I will just cherish forever, and it will take with me till I die. And she said that art changes you in a very special way, but if we never
Mhm.
try art or we never experience that, it's it's like we're missing out in that special moment that we will never will have the opportunity to experience and live it if we don't just try it. And
Yeah,
and I like that you
yeah,
mentioned too that your mentors just show you what they could. They saw something on you, and now you're making music. Are in all these Apple Music, Spotify, just like everywhere, making your own music, connecting uh, with different generations, which that's your last one of the last songs that you made. You were
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to connect
Quiate.
all these generations, from the 70s to the 80s, 90s, and and all the younger generations to connect with our culture, which gets reunited with our salsa world, and
Mhm.
Puerto Rico and Latinos and everybody that listens to salsa and that kind of like remix and hip hop and reggaeton and all that gets all mixed in and everything that you're doing. So I think it's just so amazing how like art can really teaches us something, brings us to different times in life, and especially for now the younger generations. I think it's so cool what you're doing, and you wouldn't have
Yeah.
been here if all those mentors back in the Bronx didn't see something. If Albert Torres, which he was also an amazing spokesperson of all culture around the world, um, you know, took you to LA and was like, here it is. Here, we give you the tools, but you are the person that has the dreams, and the sky's the limit. So it's just so cool how things happen. And just because the love of art and what we do and the skills and just the dream and the hope and the love for something that we all have within ourselves.
It's like a video game, right? So life is a video game. So every level is harder than the previous level, right? So what do? You spend a lot of time trying to beat that level, and what happens? Some door unlocks, and you go to the next level. It's the same thing in life, right? This is already predetermined. I really believe in that. I really believe that what I'm doing right now is what was planned all along. It took me myself to put in the work, and when I put the work, God, whatever,
Universe, whatever you call it.
and the universe, whatever you call it, goes, you know what? He's ready. I'm going to open this door for you because you put the work in. So here you go. That's always been the story of my life. Like I've never been like at the right place at the right time. That was too risky for me, right? Like that was too risky to like, you know, just go to a lot of auditions and just have somebody determine what you're gonna be or tell you what you're gonna play. Like I just didn't like that. I just from very young, I wanted to say I made all the decisions myself. I made this decision. Right or wrong, I learned from it, doesn't matter. But I'm here today to just say, like, go for it. You got to understand there's a reason why art is being taken away from schools, right? There's a reason why, people don't promote art, right? Because imagine if everybody experienced art, who would want to, who would want to, how do I say this right? Like
Follow
without
the
offending
system.
anybody. Yeah, like who would want to go make someone else rich when you discover this power that you have to not only make yourself super happy where you're at, but accomplish anything you want, any dream you want. There's nothing that in my life that I've said I want to do that I haven't done. Nothing. Now, my circle, they all think I'm crazy when I come up with these crazy ideas. When we talk about the song Quiate, right? Here I have the original Fania All-Star Adalberto Santiago, one of the creators of salsa, founding fathers of salsa. Then I have two of the hottest reggaeton artists right now. Ñengo Flow, who has the number one song in the world with Bad Bunny right now, and Jon Z, who's the future of reggaeton music and also a pioneer in Latin trap music. And I needed to educate the youth on salsa, and I can't I can't show a youth salsa, what it, 70s. Here you go. I can't teach 15, hey, check this out. No, you have to go into their world, fuse salsa into their world. They enjoy it, and then they want to do more investigating on. You know what? I like this. I like that this guy, this elder man, with gray hair, sang with my favorite reggaeton artist. Let me find out who he is more. Let me look him up. The Wikipedia Adalberto Santiago, and bam, and the whole world changes. That's what happened to me. I love salsa. I grew up with salsa. But the minute that I heard Roberto Rowena y su Apollo Sound, Fania All Stars, Coro Miare, Coro, Coro Miare, Coro, Coro, Coro Miare. When I heard that song, I'm like, yo, what's all these different like hip hop Afro beats in salsa? Like, what is that? Because I was really into salsa. And then I heard DLG. When you heard that reggae, DLG, muévete, 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 muévete. Like, I'm like, yo, I love this. But what that inspired me, what that made me want to do was really like learn the roots of where this music came from. Like, there's a base. Like, what is salsa? Let me really do my investigating. And it took over. Um, so I really believe that. I really believe that, like, when people uh, get enough of art and the experience which lane in the art world they want to be in, it's very difficult for them to like leave that. It's very difficult for them to leave, when they know like, whoa, I have this power to change someone's life with my art. Like it's so powerful. And when you have this power and you're responsible with it, right? Because there are a lot of artists who they're not responsible with this power, right?
Right.
And they take advantage of a lot of people. But when you take this power and you're responsible with it, man, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. Sky is the limit. So that's why it's super important for everybody and anybody and everybody and
Yeah.
anyone to experience art.
Yeah, I think we forget that we're all creators, that we could just, you know, as
Well,
you said,
technically, we don't forget. It's because when we're born into this society, we're not taught to be creators. We're
right.
taught to be workers. We're
Hmm.
taught to go to school, go to college. Again, nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, hey, you're a creator. Hey, you could be your own boss. Hey, you can have your own business. We're not taught that. And that's
Exactly.
and that's how it's not even that we forget. It's like it's not even in our minds because that's not what's taught to us from the beginning. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no, yeah. I mean, it's so true, like uh I mean, I was blessed also enough to have people around me that loved art. So since very little, I've been like dancing and painting and acting. And now as a writer and podcaster, and I just keep creating and creating. But you're right, there's a lot of people that are within just the system where it's like, go to school, get a job, have a family, have a wife or a husband, have kids, the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, right. That's kind of the cycle we're supposed to be in. And I again, there's nothing wrong with that. Of course not. There's people that actually thrive in that structure. They thrive in it.
Right.
Me on another hand, like it's difficult to see my daughter. Like my daughter is she's learning how to make music already. She's learning how to DJ already. She makes her own little sounds. She creates her own dinosaur adventure stories. Like she's creating her own story. Like, today we're gonna play this, and Owen is gonna capture Blue because Blue's like, like she creates these, like she's creating this.
Mm-hmm.
And then mom homeschools her, right? So I already see my daughter's like, math, all right, man, let's do this. Like she does it quickly because she wants to get over it already, right? She's like, all right, 2 plus 1 is 2 is 3. Okay, let's go. Because then she wants to go, she's like wants to run back to creating again. As a father, how can you can't stop that. You
Yeah.
can't you can't stop that. You have to nurture that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to nurture like I fought to be a creator. I fought. Claw, nail, I told my mom, my mom told me, if you go to Los Angeles, you don't have a mother. I said, then I don't have a mother because I'm going to go chase my dreams. Like I fought to have what I have. And for Phoenix, um, I want her to know that the gift, whatever gift she has, we always got to keep working on it. We
Mm-hmm.
always got to keep working on it. You like creating stories of dinosaurs, huh? All right. Well, give me 4 stories by tomorrow. And I'm with her there. So I think now we have that opportunity to do that. I think we're blessed to do that,
Yeah.
and show not only our kids but kids we work with or adults who are just coming into this business, dance, whatever. Just teach them a whole different world, and most
Mm-hmm.
importantly, where they can be happy and creating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like that you mentioned, there's some people that definitely thrive within the system where that's what they want, that's what they like. Uh, but I do also feel that even within that structure, it's always amazing to, bring that create, yeah, creative side or, art within your job. Because I almost feel like even if you live in some sort of a structured life like that, we're always creating. If you're at work, you have to get creative with a flyer, a pamphlet, or something. There's always little sparks here and there where people can get creative. And I feel like sometimes they're like too intimidated by that thought of like, well, I'm not really an artist, I'm not really, a painter, I don't draw, I don't sing, I don't even know how to dance and things like that. So I think it's important for everybody that feels that I'm not an artist to just try things, to try new things, because I feel like those little things that you can try can really make whatever it is that your job is, whether it's an accountant or a teacher or whatever. So I think it's just very important to cultivate art here and there whenever you can, because it's gonna really um, open your
Oh,
mind,
check this.
open your
Yeah,
soul. Yeah.
a lot of kids that came from my studio, they back in the Bronx, a lot of them didn't become professional dancers. but they took what they learned in dance school and they applied it. Some of
Mm-hmm.
them became great lawyers. Some of them became, great physicians. Some of them became, went to the army. You know what I'm saying? So you're right. You're right. They applied what they learned, and you're right. We're always creating within our environment. 100%. I agree.
Yeah, I almost think that art or developing certain art things, whether it is like singing or dancing or, making crafts with our hands or whatever it is, it gives us some sort of skills to help in the real world.
Mhm.
And I think it's just, as you said, a lot of people maybe started little and were dancing, or we're dancing in a dance group, or we're like singing for church and things like that. But I feel like all those skills that you develop as you're creating art or dancing, you really take it into the workforce, and just makes us so much better. You have better social skills, you can talk to people, you work as a team. I mean, there's so many things that art can really improve in our lives.
Of course, 100%. I agree. Absolutely. And that's why it's so important for people to give it a try. Doesn't matter how old you are, especially if you're older, right? You basically, if your life is super steady, it's okay to sidetrack a little bit and try something new. Go learn how to ballroom dance, go learn how to take a salsa class, learn music production, whatever. It's never too late. It's never too late because we 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 were once taught that in order for you to be successful in art, you had to be famous, right? Like if you're gonna make music, then you got to be J Lo, all right? If you're gonna be an actor, then you got to be Tom Cruise. If you're gonna, that's how it was, right? That's how we measure success. But now because of technology, because we don't depend on anybody anymore. Like, look, with this podcast, you know, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, you would have had to hire a producer, somebody with all this equipment. There's no way you could have done what you're doing right now, right?
Yeah.
And so I think today, literally, we do it because it makes us happy. We do it because it makes us just happy. Like I released this last song under my record label. I'm proud to say that under my record label, I released that song. I was offered for the song to be released on different record labels, but I wasn't going to own the song. And I'm
Mm-mm.
already 39 years old. I'm 39 years old. I I'm not in the business to like become this like super pop star produced. No, that's not what I'm here for. That was never my purpose anyway. My purpose was always to change people's lives through my art. And as long as I not only get to do that and produce that, but it's super important for people to own their art, right? Because if you don't own your art, you die tomorrow and somebody else is making money off of it. So that's super important for me. My first album, Soul of a Dancer, uh, that was never my album. A record label signed me. They heard the album and I was so excited to sign with the record label. Oh my God, I signed with the record label that I signed my album away forever, right? My
Wow.
song Beautiful to this day is, you know, so many views, so many streams, right? And just recently, I just, approached my record label and I said, let me know what you need for the album to be mine. Let me know. I'm ready. I'm ready. I want to do this. I want to sign this album over to my daughter. I want her to have it. Because it was my most successful music project so far. And they gave it to me. They're like, you know what? Here you go. Take it. Like, here you go. Um, and now, like, I'm just so proud of that. I'm so proud that I can create art. I can own it. I can make a living off of it, and I can show my daughter how to do that, and anybody else who I mentor how to be able to or try to be successful in their art. Now, the same applies when you have a 9 to 5. You still got to apply those same hours. You still have to apply those same hours. If you want to do art and only do it two hours a day, it's never going to go nowhere. It's never going to go nowhere.
Yeah.
Like Now you're just dreaming and you're just hoping somebody discovers you. That doesn't exist no more. Today, you have to build your brand. Today, you have to see, thank God I'm not part of that generation. Thank God, like people within the industry, when they need something, they know where to go, right? Because my reputation, they know where to go. But like today, people that are like, really want to take their art to a whole other level, man, it's these kids out here, 15, 14, 13 years old, they're killing it. They're
Yeah.
like, Mom, Dad, I need a mic set up. I need a music studio. Okay, here you go, Mom, and here you go. That's how it is. And now these kids are way ahead of us, right? They got their brand right. They got their social media right. Their content is beautiful, right? So these kids put the work in, and I learn from these kids. I'm 39, but I'm always looking at these young kids and how they're taking their brand to the next level. Always, I
Mm,
don't shun them. I don't go, oh man, they're young. You know, back in my no, I don't do that. I go, wow, look at what they're doing. Okay, I need to take a piece of that.
mm-hmm.
Let me study from these kids, right?
Yeah.
Remember, uh, especially children, right? They're fearless. Like kids are fearless. They have like they don't have no bills. They don't have nothing. They don't really care about what anybody say. They just do it. There's no filter. These are kids. So that's why these young teenagers, young adults, they're super successful right now in what they do because they're learning through trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
They're studying the best, and they're like, okay, I think I know what I want to do, and then they go out and do it.
Yeah.
So now more than ever, oh my God, like imagine when we started dancing, right? Imagine if we would have had these tools.
Yeah.
Imagine, Alex, if we would have had it. Oh, it would have been over if I would have had these tools when I was younger. Oh my goodness, over.
It's true.
But these kids have it. These kids have it. So there's no excuse. There's
Yeah.
no like there literally isn't any excuse for somebody to not make it. Literally.
Yeah, I think we're from the same generation, and these kids that are creators and that are putting art and music and all these things out there, they literally grew up with a computer by their hands and with all this technology, which is super amazing. Now, as you said, I could do a podcast if I want to. I could connect with people around the world so easy. I don't need a full team uh, with me to help me and to do all these things. Like I
Yeah.
could do it. I mean, I could definitely hire a team, but I could do it by myself
Yeah.
and just do my art, do my books, do everything. But yeah, I mean, you have a great point right there. All these 15 years old are in the millions right now because they were curious about art. They actually developed their certain skills within them that have got them to be these amazing creators, and that's one of the coolest things in our world. We have so many things that 15 years ago we couldn't even dream of.
No way. No, no, and it's only gonna get
Better.
bigger
Yeah.
and better. And as parents, we have to be ready. We gotta be ready.
Yeah.
If my daughter tells me, Dad, I want to be a gamer and I want to stream, how can I tell her no when these streamers are making 500,000 a month, right? How can
Yeah.
I tell her no? You want to
Yeah.
be okay? Do you know this is a sport, right? You want to be that's a sport. You know what you got to do, right? You know the sacrifice. It's just yeah. So um, yeah, I don't think any adult should look at where we're heading wrong. They shouldn't. They should
Mhm.
embrace it. Obviously, it's different for them, but at the end of the day, it's going to be super beneficial for them and their kids. If they want to go into that realm, right? Through
Yeah.
art, through whatever they do.
Yeah. And a question for you, since you're a dad, and I'm not a parent. I know art, we see art, we experience art through our lives differently, right? You and me, we play in the streets, we dance in the streets, we literally brought the boombox on the garage and danced whatever we could catch on the radio, right? Because that
Yeah,
was the cassette time. And it's funny, it makes us seem very old, but we're not. But that was the
we're not. We're
times.
still
That was
young.
it.
We're still young.
We were super young. But that was the times, right? We that's how we end that's how we create things. That's how we connected with people and did a lot of things, right? We'll like even grab some chalk and paint on the street and do our little art and do all these things, right? What do you think? I know you're talking about, gamers and all this other art that comes with technology, which is amazing. And I think is super important for the development of humankind, right? Everything that our technology has brought to us, because it's just amazing. I mean, we couldn't complain about technology because everything that we do, like we work, we play, we do entertainment and everything, streaming, online, social media, and all that, right? Do you think there's a fine line between all that and the classical arts that have nothing to do with social media? Do you think are we how are we supposed to manage these two things? Because it's kind of like hard, right? Isn't it? Like to think of all this art, like to be in front of the computer, and then to think about just classical art, such as go and train as a dancer, go and take live drawing classes. How do we see these two worlds, especially as a parent?
So check this out. So when I make my music, I'm very proud of like every sound. Like I make every sound myself, right? Every drum, every snare, every hi hat, every instrument. I like to produce myself. And if I can't make it, then I'm gonna go record it, right? I'm hire a musician if I can't make it. So the process is longer.
Mm-hmm.
The process is longer when I do it that way. So I always used to Lenny Kravitz, right? He's like an inspiration of mine. Lenny Kravitz, all his music, all his music, he records it himself and he records it to tape still. He still
Mm-hmm.
does tape. He doesn't want to do anything digital because it doesn't sound the same. And he records it that way. Now, here's the problem with that, which I think is so cool, right? I think if you're classically trained, I think if you want to, you know, record how music used to be recorded on tape, that's amazing. But here's the problem with that. Technology is going so fast that your music is not even going to be heard by the time you finish. By the time you finish this project that you recorded on a tape, which is probably going to take you 2 to 3 years, 10 Lenny Kravitzes came out with a better album than yours because they use technology,
Right.
right? So I go to my best friend, who's he's a music producer who told me everything, right? Pedro Laredo. So I go visit him the other day,
Right. Lost you for a
and
second.
hello,
There
can
you
you hear
go.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So so I go to Pedro the other day, and I felt kind of defeated. So I go, yo, check out these drums that I made for, just drums. I just made some drums. Tell me what you think. He goes, wow, they sound amazing. He goes, he tells you, how long did it take you? I said, it took about 2 weeks, 3 weeks to make these drums. But they said, like, these are my drums. Like, I made them. He goes, all right, man, I'm gonna make you some drums right now. And literally, he made drums on an AI website, on an artificial intelligent website, and the drums sounded better than mine, right? So it's like, okay, am I gonna fight that and be like, you know what, um, um, that's not how I do it. I'm gonna do it my way. But with that attitude, one, you're gonna be broke. You're gonna be broke. Literally, you're not gonna get any jobs. Why? Because there's kids that are making beats faster than you. They don't even make music. They don't even know how to make
They
music, but they're
just
using
ask the
artificial
IA to do it for them.
I to do it. Boom, and it's set. So I'm like, you know what? All good. So I'll put on an idea on the AI. I tested it out the other day, And I said, you know what? I'm going to recreate. I'm going to make that better. That's my mentality. I'm
Right,
going to
right,
make that. My shit's going to sound better than that. Right? Because that's how I'm going to beat the kids. If all the kids are going this easy route, if all these
right.
people who are not putting in the work, right, to classically train or to train in something, whatever they're putting out, my shit has to sound better than that. So
Yeah,
at the end of the day, I feel like I'm still going to come out the winner, right? Because I know I'm going to be in a room with trained musicians. Like I was just in the room when I did the song Quiate,
yeah,
right? I told all these artists, they recorded on my microphone, right? I told them exactly, Adalberto Santiago, I want you to do it this way, do it that way, do it this way. Like we spoke music. So, you know, you could only get so far with technology, but when you get to a really, like when you're working with Beyonce or when you're working with somebody and you don't know musical terms, or you don't know what an arrangement is, or you don't know what ad lib is, or you don't know what a highlight is, you don't know these terms, you're fired, you're done, you're gone,
yeah,
right? So in the short term, it's beneficial, but in the long run, you're not going to be remembered. You're just going to be as quickly as that song was made on AI, you're going to be as quickly forgotten. So again, my point, use don't dismiss it.
yeah,
Learn it. You know, that's your competition.
yeah.
It's not the person behind the AI. It's the AI is your competition. That's who you're going against,
Yeah,
right? So, yeah, and the other day I made a decision. Like, you know what? I need to chill and I need to really learn what's out there. I need to learn what's out there because I'm not going to be in a room where people are buying my music and somebody else's music and the other person gets the job. I shouldn't feel bad because how do I know that person made the song or not? How do I know that person just didn't do it with technology, right?
yeah.
So you just have to learn how to bridge them, how to bring them together. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't dismiss it. You know,
Marry both of them, definitely.
absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Even again, you want to classically train in a violin. There's YouTube videos for that now.
Yeah,
Buy a violin. That's it. You learn on YouTube. My
yeah,
daughter is learning piano. Because I want her to learn the right. I learn piano like we're street. So I play by ear, right? And the few um, terminologies that I know in piano, yeah, I used it, but I want my daughter to learn it correctly. But I don't have to take her to a classical school.
yeah,
I sit down with her and we find uh, the best teachers for her online, and we take these lessons, and here we are, and she's killing it. She loves it.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, you know what? That's like one of the coolest things about this era in time, because even though people call themselves like, I'm not an artist, I don't do this, I don't do that, it doesn't matter, because if you ever want to try anything, and literally anything, you can just Google it, type it on YouTube, and voila, you can get a free lesson on try how to draw from a duck to actually sketch a house. You could
yeah.
actually learn the basic of salsa to a pretty big and long combination with a partner. Is kind of like the wanting and the curiosity that you can have. I think that's what really it comes down to, because we have so many free tools now, and that
Of
we all
course.
have.
People keep the other day. I was with an artist, dancer, and this person used to have so many people teaching, so many students while she was teaching. And her students used to have like, average 60, 70, 80 students per class. Now she has about between 8 to 15, and it's disappointing to her. And I said, why? Here's what you got to do: switch your classes over online, and then start your club. You go to a club, and everything they learned, they practice in your club. Start a night. And now this person started a night, and the night is super successful. Um, They get them ready for the club, and then they practice what they learn at the club. Because that's what people are learning, right? They're learning how to
Yeah.
dance so they can do it at the club,
Right.
right? Before, we couldn't wait to go to dance class because the camaraderie, we get to see each other again. It's like, oh my God, how are you? We're rehearsing with each other, we're learning, right? It was a different ballgame back then because back then we all wanted to be good. We all wanted to be professional. We all wanted to do great shows on stage. It's not like that no more. Now they just want to be great dancers on the social floor. That's the era we live in right now. So you have to adapt to that. The
Mm-hmm.
era I came from, we wanted to take each other's heads off. Like I wanted to go on stage and give the best show. Like you weren't gonna outdo me, and I wasn't. It was like that. But it was healthy. We inspired each other.
Yeah.
Our shows were very unique at the LA
We
Salsa
didn't
Fest,
have
right? Everybody
videos to
had
learn. We couldn't see
yeah,
what the people in Europe were doing. We were just
no,
hoping we were doing better.
that's it. Absolutely. So it's a different era, and we just have to adapt, and not get frustrated or not feel like we have to start over or not feel like, I put all my years into doing this and now it changed. What do I do? Right.
Mhm.
So another example. Um, so I had to like retreat my whole studio, right? Because I'm like now I really wanna like super learn how to mix and master music. I've mixed and mastered my music, but I've done it like I think it's like this, right? So I had to like switch up my whole room, turn it soundproof. We good. And like now, like there's nothing holding me back now. Like now there's just gonna be so much music coming out now because now I don't have to rely on somebody. I don't have to rely on a mixing or a mastering engineer to get my stuff out there, right? So I think that uh I can easily have gone like, man, I was doing it this way for this long, right? I was doing it this way for this long, but people's productions are getting really, really good. So guess what, Alex? I had to like, you know,
Step it up.
erase erase what I used to do and go into this new adventure, this new level of what I'm about to do, right? And
Mhm.
that's like now really take my music to the next level. And that's it. And I think because we're creators, there's not an expiration date on it. People think because I'm 39, I can't wait to be 40. I can't wait to be 50. I'm always going to be a creator. I'm
Yeah,
always going to be, age doesn't define me at all. It doesn't define me. It will never define me, ever define me. Right. So
exactly.
I'm just, I'm blessed that I'm able to have figured that out. You adapt, you evolve, and you're going to be fine.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's the key, for all the artists out there that might be thinking like, oh man, I'm too old and now there's all these younger kids doing all this and that. That's not an excuse anymore. Like you have the tools. Most of the things are free out there. You have a phone, you could do everything in a phone now. You'll be
Everything.
surprised how many things you could do on a phone.
That's what
I
I'm, that's,
mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like there's no excuses now. You know, I
yeah.
go to I go to when I was DJing at Steven Steakhouse for about 2 years, a year and a half, right after the pandemic. I was a house DJ there. Before things kicked off, and I just want to super thank Steven Steakhouse for being there for me in one of my toughest times. Um, and they hired me, and I'm there, right? And so I would go to the other side, if I just to check out the other side of the bachata room, and I literally had to be in the corner because I just felt like, oh my God, like I feel there's no way I could dance with anybody here. These kids are like 18, 19 years old, 20 years old, like dancing. Like I feel bad. Like I can't dance with them. You know what I'm saying? Like the scene has gotten so much younger, right? Um, but the good thing is I'm in a position right now where I'm able to produce events, direct events, that's gonna be a safe environment for them. Like that's my responsibility now, right? Like
Yeah.
the performance aspect of it. I don't perform anymore. You know, I don't. If I do, it'll be just random. But like that's not my focus no more, right? My focus is my music now. But for the dancers, I have that responsibility of making sure that what they're about to embark on, whatever event they're about to go to, that we all give them a good experience, the same we were given a great experience, right?
Mhm.
Albert Torres was once a dancer, but then he became a producer,
Yeah.
and we all benefited from that, all of us, right? All of
Yeah.
us benefited from that. So I think that's that's the goal for me. You know, I see these kids, and I'm like, you know what? I just got to work hard to make sure they got somewhere to go. I got to work hard to make sure that they're inspired, you know, by whatever projects we're putting together. Like I just put together this. I work for Fania Records, right? And I put together this project called Salsa Around the World, where they picked 15 of the best, some of the best couples from around the world. We had Johnny Vasquez, Tito Tamana, Eddie Torres Jr. I mean, the list goes on and on from these
Yeah.
Fania All-Star dancers that we picked. I did that from my home. I did that from this chair. I did that from this chair. And the amount of messages that I got from dancers, kids, their dream is to be handpicked by us to be a fine dancer, right? That's why we do this one. That's why I do this one now, right?
Yeah.
To make sure that these kids have something to look up to look forward to, and to have something to be a part of.
Yeah. I think we started as a dancers and we just dance our life away, Sunday through Monday every day. But now we have evolved and adapt to other things and other roles that are also beneficial
Mhm,
for dance community or just our
mhm,
community in general. And now it's so cool to see you out there making music. Now you're making the music for people to do routines to it, so that's the coolest thing too. I mean,
yeah,
I'm so excited about that, seeing you
thank you.
on stage now. I see you as a father, I see you as a producer, as a, creator, musician, everything. So I think that's what art is all about. It
Yeah,
evolves with us, it takes our lives into so many different directions that, I mean, that little kid from the Bronx didn't think you are going to be right there on that chair talking about this at this moment. So what,
mm,
coolest thing ever, this is
yeah.
awesome. So thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for this conversation. And I mean, I can't
You're so
wait for
welcome.
everything that you're going to come up with. I know, I mean,
Yeah,
your music, I love it. I've been a big fan for a long time. I hope
thank you.
everybody can listen to your song and download it and everything. Comment to send him a message. If anybody wants to get in touch and see what your projects that you're doing and wants to get in contact with you, where can they find you?
EdwinRiveraMusic.com, EdwinRiveraMusic.com, or all my social media handles is Dímelo Rivera, Dímelo Rivera, and that's what I know what I'm up to. You know what's next, what's happening. Right now I'm being pulled in like so many different directions right now. Where it's never happened to me in my life. Where any decision that anywhere I go, it's gonna change my life for the rest of my life, right? So right now, I'm just kind of like um these people that want to give me these opportunities. I have them on hold right now because for me, uh, any step or any move or any decision I make in my life has to benefit my daughter, right? It has to benefit my daughter. Like I got this great opportunity to go live in Miami right now and work with this super pop megastar, and but they need me to live there. They want me to live in Miami, and it's cool. It's great. Uh, but my daughter's best friend is her 91-year-old grandfather, right? That's her best friend, you know? And it's like, nah, you know, I've created these opportunities for myself. I can create more. What I
Yeah.
don't want is for it to affect my daughter because my daughter doesn't give a crap that her daddy is a known producer or no. My daughter just wants to be happy. My daughter just wants to have fun. My daughter just wants to go to the river and see deers and go to the mountain and mountain climb and catch fireflies. You know what I'm saying? Like that's so important. And that's what I want to preserve. And that's what I made it clear. Like this year, everybody that hires me to travel, it's very clear. It's my daughter, my wife. Why don't go? I'm sorry. My daughter, my wife gotta come. I can't make it. Right? I'll stay home and I'll make less money. I'll make less money staying home, way less money. But at the end of the day, it's there's no there's nothing is worth more than giving your child stability of happiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My daughter and I, we're just super close, and I want her to know that every decision that daddy and mommy ever made was for her benefit. That's all.
That's awesome. I mean, I feel like when we act within that intention, that love within us, there's so many other things and opportunity that always
Of
will
course,
come our way. So just
absolutely.
sit tight and let your life go in this amazing ride that you're
Yeah,
in. So we can't wait. We can't wait to see everything
thank
that
you,
you do out there. For
thank you.
everybody listening, I will put all Edwin's information and on the show notes, all the links, all the music.
Please,
Please do download his new song. It's an amazing remix and just I love it. I can't tell you
thank
enough.
you,
Hopefully you do
thank you.
download it, check it out, support
Yeah,
local artists.
and go to my SoundCloud. Like my SoundCloud has all my music. Edwin Rivera music on SoundCloud or Dimelo Rivera. Sorry, Dimelo Rivera on SoundCloud or Edwin Rivera music on SoundCloud. And yeah, please have fun, knock yourself out. Let me know what you think.
I love that. Yes, if you like salsa or just all music, please go and check it out. I'll put the all the information on the show notes. If you want to know more about my show, I will put all my information there. You can find me at alexbalga.com. You can find me on social media, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, anywhere, pretty much. And don't forget, my book is out. You can find it on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. It's called Parents Are Greatest Teachers. Thank you, everyone, for listening today. Thank you, everyone, for being
And
here.
congratulations to you on your book, on like doing that. Like that's not easy. That's not an easy feat. I'm super proud of you. And you have whatever you need from me. I'm always here for you. Always.
Thank you. Thank you. Much love to everyone. Thank you, everybody, and
Always.
have an amazing day. Thank you, Edwin.
Okay.